everyone, Katie Pertiet here, katiepertietdesigns.com, and I wanted to do another little demo today to show you another one of the products that I designed for 49 Market and Sussex, and show you how to use it, some different ideas, and just introduce it to you. So it is the Pencil Line Botanicals, and let's get started. Okay, here we go. So I've got my new Pencil Line Botanicals from Sussex and 49 Market that I designed. And I'm gonna go through how to just regular stamp with them. And then I've made these little tags. And I'm gonna show you how I made those, okay? And those show you that, you don't have to use the whole stem. It's got lots of different options for it. So let's get started. So when you open up the package, you will have all of these stamps. You can't really see so well from the cover, but you've got your pencil line outline. You've got your full watery stamp. You've got a splash. You've got a splash for the bud. And then you have some darker accent colors that go in the leaves. And I know it can be kind of tricky to figure out where these work. And so I'm going to show you that too. And then also in the package, you have the die. So that is what is included in this package. And let's just get to work on it. Oh, I did not get myself a acrylic block. So let me get one of those. I need one of my big ones. So I'm going to start by stamping the pencil line. You don't have to start this way. You could start with the watery one. And you know what? Okay, wait. Boing, changing my mind. Let's start with the watery one. And pull this off here. This is a fresh set. I couldn't find my used one. I don't know if I left it at the latest show or what I did. Okay, but here's the watery one. And what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to pull out some Oxides and just kind of roughly show you how I would stamp with this. Let's see, I think I'm gonna need something a little darker. We'll try that too. Okay, so let's see. We've got our stamp here. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of go in where the color is. So I'm gonna go to the buds here and I'm gonna add some saltwater taffy. That's one of my favorites. It's got kind of a coral tinge to it, and I really like it. Okay, and then I'm gonna stamp up the leaves. And because I don't want it to be flat, I really like when you mix colors and you have a range of colors. And because this one, that was the Catherine Pooler Sage. Because this example, I'm not showing you with watercolor crayons. That's yet to come. I just kind of want to give you an idea of how to build this. All right, so I'm going to spritz this stamp because, I like things watery. And I'm just going to lay it down here on my paper, rub it, make sure it adheres, and lift it up. Yay, that worked good. And get a paper towel here and dab off my stamp. I'm just spraying it and dabbing it. Later I'll do like a clean. Do you do that with like Dawn dish soap and kind of wash them off and make sure? I've lost sticky on the backs too many times from using them so many times. So that's what I've started doing. All right, so now we've got our base flower here. Let's take a look at this accent panel here. Okay, so I'm positioning it here. So if you look, there's like the little bud here goes there. And then the leaf is an extenuation of that leaf. And then down here is extending these leaves, and you line up this one on that branch. So I know it's a little tricky. I'm a little trickified by it too, but that's how we do it. So I'm gonna just grab a darker ink color. Let's see what I can find. I need to organize my colors a little bit more. Oh, this one will work. I've got Distressed Oxide in the Rustic Wilderness. All right. So this is going to kind of give like a shadow, different levels of green so that we're not all flat color. So again, I'm lining it up with the base of the bud and the leaves, and then I'm going to press. And there we go. We've got some accent color in there. So you could also go in with the splashes and add some more color to it. So let's do that. We'll take the splash stamp here, and I'm going to get a smaller block. Got a smaller acrylic block, and let's see, I use saltwater taffy. Let's go with worn lipstick for a little bit of a darker pink. You know, I wish I had all of the Oxide colors because you can't go wrong. They all seem to work really nicely. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna add that to the flower, dab it up so my paper doesn't get too wet. And look at that, that's so nice. I really like how that worked out. All right, now that we have our flower stamped, let's go back in with the pencil line. So you can just, oops, that's not the pencil line. Here's the pencil line. All right, so if you lay it over the stamp there, and you'll see that the color doesn't go all the way to the end of the line, and that was intentional. I should have stamped up a little bit higher, but I didn't. But that was intentional to kind of give an unfinished watercolor in process kind of a vibe. All right, so there we've got our pencil line, and I'm using the Archival watering can. Definitely one of my go-to colors. And with the Archival, if I add more watercolor crayons or anything like that to it, that will stay intact. And that's really important with this look with the watery pencil line Botanicals. All right, so I'm just going to line it up here and put it down and stamp and lift up. And there we go. We've got our beautiful Botanical ready to go. It would make a really nice card just like this. It's kind of got an artsy, unfinished watercolor vibe to it. And that's kind of the vibe we're going to go for on these tags too. Okay, so let's get going. I'm going to take off this pencil line stamp. We'll set that aside. Let me bring in some tags. Oh, and you know what? I'll be right back. I want to have a piece of paper under here because I don't want to ruin my surface. Okay, I've got my paper underneath here and I'm ready to get started. So for these tags, I'm going to be using watercolor crayons. So the fun thing with this stamp is you can make the blooms any color. Like, see, I did the purple and I did the orange. I think this time I'm actually going to do blue. So what I have found is that if I very lightly, spritz my stamp with water, and then I'm going to come in with some watercolor crayons. I use the Caran, can you see those okay? Caran dash, I can't pronounce it, I don't know French. I took Latin, a lot of good that did me. But anyway, so I'm going to come in with these and add my color. So I'm going with some blue blooms, and then I will paint my stems. And I just kind of run the crayon over. I have a hard time seeing, I don't know if you do, you know, the clear through clear on white background. It's hard to see where your stamp actually is. But when you run the crayon, it picks up and it's all good. And so I'm starting with the lightest, and then I can go back with a little bit of a darker green, dipping it in the water a little bit to kind of get the crayon started. And I'm just kind of going on the underside, just like how a shadow is on the underside of your leaves. That's what I'm keeping in mind here as I add the color to the stamp. You don't have to, I mean, this obviously is not scientifically correct, but it's nice. Okay, I'm gonna actually do the same thing on the blue. I'm gonna add some darker blue because, like I said before, it's always good to not just have flat color. When you add more color and different shades, it adds dimension to your artwork. And dimension is good. Even though it's 2D art, it still helps it pop a little bit more. Okay, so I'm all good there. And I'm gonna just turn it over, kind of position it how I would want it to fall off of my tag. And just lay it down, press, and peel it off. Cool. Doesn't that look nice? And then when that dries, you're gonna have that nice dark edge. I'm gonna spritz my stamp a little bit to give it a rough clean. But I really like that, really, really like it. Because it's not just one color, and it's not just flat color like you normally would do stamping. This is like creating art. It's a fresh way to be a watercolor artist and not have to stress over getting it all right, because it's all there for you with these stamps. All right, I want to make sure that this is dry though before I come in with my pencil line. So I'm going to dry it. I think we're all dry now. Oops. Bumped my light there. Sorry about that. Test it. Yeah, we're all dry. So I'm going to go ahead and come in with my pencil line now. So again, I'm using the archival ink because if I did want to go back in this way, it's going to have stayed put. And I I will retain that. And I'm only really inking up the top part because I didn't use the bottom part of the stamp. And just kind of holding it over the painting to line it up. Yes, you could use a stamp platform, etc., but this is how I like to work. Pressing it down and lifting it up. Beautiful. Look at that. So perfect. I really, really like it. Really fun, artsy vibe to it. And if you notice, it's never the same. Same technique, but it all depends on how much water, what colors. You get a fresh, different look each time, as if you painted it. All right, so for this one, let me go back and dab off my stamp a little bit. So to finish off my tags, I've been using some printable sentiments I have in my shop at katiepertietdesigns.com. And these sentiments are really handy. They come in PNG if you do digital, but they also come on PDF sheets. So you can just print them out, have a set of sentiments all handy and ready to work with. So I'm gonna go with So Very Proud. And I'm just cutting it out. I really like these small Tim Holtz scissors. They cut so nice and they feel so comfortable in your hands. There we go. And all it takes is adding the sentiment. I'm using this My Sweet Petunia glue press. I get asked on my Instagram videos what I'm using. And this was gifted to me by a friend and didn't know I needed it. And I do have pretty rough arthritis in my hands, and I find that that has been really helpful. So I'm gonna go right there. Now I'm looking at this and I don't plan things. I just kind of let the mojo lead the way. And as I'm looking at this, I feel like this tag needs more. Yes, I could do like a reinforcer like I did on this one, but instead what I'm gonna do for this one, I'm going to, hopefully this works. You know, don't you hate it when you like have an idea and you go ahead and you do it and then like it makes it not what you wanted? Can't say ruined it because, you know, art is subjective and what you think is ruined, somebody else thinks is wonderful and just perfect. But, you know, you always have to deal with what's in your head and what your expectations are when you are creating art. And it's hard to get yourself in a zone where you truly believe that whatever comes of it is good. Now, because these are watercolor crayons, I can come back, kind of lift that color more with a wet paintbrush, giving my tag edges. And luckily, I like the way this is looking. It is looking how I envisioned it, which is always a nice thing. So you'll have to let me know in the comments below. Do you have the watercolor crayons? Are you using them? You know, no matter what brand, it's just experimenting with them. I do like this brand. I feel like the colors are very vibrant. I bought the big Giganto set so that I have all the color choices because there's never enough color. All right, look at that. Very pleased with how that turned out and really so simple with this set. So again, this was the pencil line Botanicals that I designed for 49 and Market and Sussex. and just ask your retailer. Now, there are these butterfly stamps you can add as well to other projects. They do not have a coordinating die, but that makes them they're still just as good to use. So, and you could, die cut it out. In these examples that I've shown you today, I just didn't feel like that was necessary. So we've got our original sample and then the tag that I designed. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it has encouraged you to use the Penciline Botanicals. And I'll be back again soon with some more inspiration and ways to use my products. So thanks for joining me. Remember, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and ask any questions below. I always try to come back and answer all the questions. All right, have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.